Hello, if those of you looking for, I just bought this product, but those of you looking to get a new, I haven't tried it out because I'm still working on one of these to get better audio. But I recently got that I haven't been able to try this one out yet. Uh, the name of this so you can speak into your laptop or computer or whatever. Um, this is this would look like. Uh, so then I got the phone with it, and I got that with it. Anyway, yeah, I went on purchase that yesterday. In the meantime, I had a rough time. I had to get. I went to go to the ATM machine afterwards after I got that in my bank. You ever had this happen where you put your ATM in the card and it gets stuck in in the ATM machine, and it as you're trying to process, get a bank receipt or get some money out, and then your card gets stuck. So now I have to call to get my bank card, but they give you like a temporary debit card until next thing. But anyway, it's crazy, man. You just can't win for losing. But anyway, I made this video, and this is gonna be another controversial video, and it's something that people uh, need to think about. And this is on the video I made about black people not speaking to other people, and that's very true. Some black people don't speak to other people because we got a self jealousy and hatred, and then you have some people just don't like somebody just by the way they look, or they just feel like they can intimidate somebody. And I forgot to tell you the rest of that story was when I was living in Cincinnati, I was a security guard. And downtown at the city hall, it was a donut street that opened up about, I think, 6, 7 in the morning. So after I was able to get some rounds, and usually when I go in there, so it was the first thing in the morning, and this black woman snatches the door and says it's not time to get open yet. I mean, just real nasty, like God, that's okay. And I mean, I said I didn't know, I didn't know it was like that, and it was just, that was one of the many things that I've encountered living in Cincinnati. And yeah, people, they don't tend to gravitate to you too well, and this can apply to any city you live in. You don't necessarily. I'm just telling you from my experience from living in a different city. I never had too much that attitude. Not too many people come across that attitude in Columbus, or maybe in the past, maybe in Youngstown. Or I'm not really around Cleveland that much, so I don't really go too much up there. But a lot of times it's young people. It's interesting. I was thinking about my mother, and she dated a man that was her husband, her deceased husband now. But one of the things about it is that he was locked up off and on throughout his life when he was living, and he died. He passed away back in 2016. But the thing that really trips me out. Hold on, let me see if I can get over here. Like, the thing that trips me out is that I can understand a man. I can understand a man that can make a mistake, or a woman that can make a mistake, and I don't hold anything against them for that. I'm sorry, I'm trying to block out that light. And what I learned from that is that some people don't change. They don't change their mindset. They don't change their ways. It's one thing that, you live their lifestyle, and some people should come out and they get rehab and get adjusted back into society. But you got some people that never let the streets go. They never let the streets go. They never let the streets go. I mean, they're just, you know what? Screw it. They never let it go. And the mentality. When he was living, he had the drug problem. There was times that, and I can understand what my mother seen at the time, seeing this man, because it was just that here he is, he's getting out in the 60s, and he's still trying to be a hood dude, but he can't let the hood dude go. You know what I mean? It's just one of these people that can't let the streets go. Oh, let's get it going. I gotta. They can't let the streets go. Their mindset is kind of like they haven't grown up. They haven't evolved. They haven't learned from their lesson. They haven't learned from their ways. You have to kind of like walk it over here. That light's kind of reflecting. That's why I'm standing over here like this. Keep looking, trying to block out that light. So yeah, he had some good ways about him, but every time, he would bring people around that's from the streets that still had that kind of street vernacular term. And it's like, wow, of all and one time I was thinking of all the men she could have met. And I can understand if a man that, like I said before, he was locked up, that he learned something from it. But this man ain't trying to. And my mother raised me up as a single mother before he was out, to make sure I go to the best schools, and to have a man that would try, I guess, so-called had that father figure, when you have a man that had 9, 10 kids and he was pretty much not in their life. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, he wasn't pretty much, when he was alive, he wasn't really, they would connect with him sometimes, but as they got older, but he wasn't there that much when they were younger. So it's like, I can't really, and to me, I tried to connect with them. It was like, as a father, as my father was when he was alive, he was not that kind of man, because he was so like still that pimp street terminology terms, and he haven't fully developed. He never fully given himself over and work out to be balanced. And the reason why I made that video, because how some people, we don't like each other as a people, because there's that's distinguished when it comes to black people, that some of us don't want to let and evolve and let that stuff go, because we're scared to change what it is. It's like some people are scared to change because, yeah, you did that when you ran that street life, but you don't want to leave this world and be known as someone who ran the street, because what legacy are you presenting yourself? What legacy are you leaving in this world? But you got guys, that, let's say if you sold some hot stuff and down the line, or you was part of some kind of gang or something like that, and you caused havoc and destruction and heartache to somebody, or you around somebody that got someone that got hurt and maimed and killed. What legacy would what somebody would want that on it? What legacy in that they have in what you want to leave in the earth that you cause destruction? And a lot of people don't think about that when they're causing destruction. And one day the Most High God is going to hold every human being accountable for every dirty and every deed who never really repented, who was around people who killed innocent people, people who cause harm and cause the so-called peel out that stuff that it cost people their lives, it cost people their mind, it caused people then to be in bondage. And any person, regardless of race, color, creed, get money off of someone's oppression and never repents for it, you can't paint them as a saint when the time comes if something misfortune happened and the game gets caught up to them. And they never said that they were sorry. They never said that they repented. They caused more families heartache, headache, and damage. I don't think that they arrogant enough. They won't even apologize to God and say, God, I'm sorry that I made a mistake. Because through His Son Yeshua, Jesus, He can forgive somebody for that, even though people don't want to forgive. Jesus can forgive, but God wants to see, like all of us, regardless of what sin that our trials and our tribulations have brought us through, that we truly repent for what we do, no matter how awful and terrible that we do. If you have a repenting heart and a change of mind, and you continue to be changed and not weakened down under the pressures of life to go back and do the same thing that caused you to lose your freedom or almost cost you your life just for the sake of the streets or whatever, what good is it going to do? What good is it going to do to be in the second street? You got some people, black people, don't understand, like any other people don't understand this. And so when the game happens and they cause all this havoc and destruction and death, people, there's a segment of people, they don't feel sorry for you, because and it's like what are you crying over this individual for when they never truly repented? They cause all this havoc and destruction. You know, it's one thing we all make a mistake and it costs us dearly. It's to learn from it, not romanticize it like he did. And like, yeah, you know, we all done some awful things in our time on this earth. But my thing is, what did you learn from it? What can you set the next generation and try to tell them, don't go this direction, because it ain't easy being locked up and institutionalized for 20, 30 years. Ask anybody, they have to get themselves readjusted. And they train their brain to be institutionalized. And then when they get out, they have to get uninstitutionalized, because the things they had to do to survive behind the walls of a prison, just from jail to a prison. You're constantly. What is so brave about having another grown man tell you when to eat, when to shower, and when to use the restroom? What is so in holding the wall for another man? What is so brave about that? What is so particular about that? What is so fascinating about that? That you stab and shank somebody, fighting over 3 inches of a wall, fighting over 3 inches of a territory that none of you own but separate state, and you cage in like a pack of animals, like at a sanctuary, and being territorial block, and your manhood is being taken away. Your manhood you're losing your manhood every year. you lose your time that you used to have an affection for a woman. What how tough is that is? That you get used to being around more men than you around women. And I never could figure that out, man. And it's something wrong with our society, and we don't think about that way. But just because my mother succumbed to a man that she thought was a man, because they talk that vernacular and I'll cut you up and cuss you out. Some people think that's a man, and the way the person expressed themselves. But it can work in certain occasions, but it can work against you if you don't use wisdom about it. It's one thing to be angry, and this is what we got it wrong in our community. I mean, yeah, you should speak up, but but know your ground when you speak up. You gotta know when to use the wisdom. Not put up a fist unless you have to. Not pull up a weapon unless you have to. And that's something that we can't. We never was able to master that. That's a fact. Some of us in the community never was able to master that. So, and then some people use that as a bully tactic to intimidate others. And so, you know how we got, everybody got crazy people in their family. But I say this, this is what I learned. So my mom watched her being around in this relationship with this man that's like that. And it was mind-boggling. And there's times I didn't even want to go around him, because like that's not the way I was raised. Why all of a sudden you give to, and then my extended family, my aunts didn't like it, certain family members didn't like it, and my cousins seen right through it, because they see what kind of person he was. Not that he's from a different part of Ohio, not that he was from different. It's just that the demeanor. And my mom got mad because toward the end of his life, they put what was really much involved with them. And it's like, why would they? He was on. I wanted to say this to him. He was just a drug use, and my cousins aren't drug users. They just like to enjoy their alcohol, and maybe a few people smoke. I don't know if they smoke weed or not, because these gentlemen was up in they older than me. They think in their 60s. Everybody got their own recreational thing, but he was in the heavy stuff. He was in, him and his friends, that when he went back to Cincinnati, they would shoot up in the bathroom, smoke in the bathroom. I mean, and what he used to do when he was in streets to prison. So, and then when you hear what his life story was, that's all he knew. But when I would talk to his mother, who at the time when she was living, she was 90-something years old. She said, "I don't understand, baby bro, because I didn't raise him to be like that." She said, my husband and I always had things for him, anything that he wanted. I don't understand. She said, "What?" And she was like that. And I kid you not, a 90-something-year-old woman who was my stepfather's mother told me this, because I'm getting it out. And I'm like, and I said, I just shake my head. I was like, wow. Because it was, some things used to frustrate her. Even though that's her son, she loved him like I don't know what. But some people, it's like, not everybody come from a single family home and dysfunctional. Because clearly in his case, he was a high school graduate, but when he ran around a different crowd, he wanted to be around that crowd because he wanted to get the street credit and ran things in the street. And then being a mama papa's maybe daddy, I know they had to and even though I know his children truly loved him, because they see towards the latter years he got sick and he went down. But I, you know, I'm glad as a black man and as a responsible man, I never laid up with multiple different women and had multiple different children, because they love, maybe they might they try to understand, because you imagine, where's your father at, where's your dad at, and your dad is in a different city, and it's not like their mothers kept them away from their children. They have good, I'm pretty sure they were good mothers, but he was just that street dude by the mentality. And you know, it ain't always good to be that hood dude from the street. That's why I said, and you have no, it's one thing you start out one thing, but later in life you're supposed to evolve. You're supposed to really evolve yourself, and it's something that some of us have never grown, and God bless the black men that do. This can pertain to other men too, but God bless the black men that evolve, and it's particularly on us because society uses our face as the dumpster, and then as the bad all be all demonic all on black men. Black women go through some things, but black men really goes through some things in the society. So it's one thing you make a mistake, but at least learn from the mistake and try to make what's right, make it right with yourself, and get back and try to be a positive role model for the children, so they don't suffer that same path and walk towards an institution and get institutionalized, and young boys lose their manhood. This what should be the thing that some black men should try to help young black men and boys do. Some are doing a good job of it, learning from their own lesson. So you don't have to listen to me. Don't go down this route, because you're going to get behind the bars and someone's going to tell you what to do for the rest of your life. And one mistake will cost you the rest of your life, your freedom. And take your normal feelings you would have for a woman towards another man. And even, you know what I'm saying, in your mind, the enemy, the devil, will play tricks on you. That's why you see men turning into women in prisons and stuff like that. And that's not the way the Most High God intended to be. And even though they start out as a straight man, but some men get weak, and some men are not all men are very strong. And that's a fact. Luckily he was, but yeah, what all isn't good. And so we make an impression on as people, and we have to own up to it. And some have owned up to it. Another thing, the reason why, and that's because, and sometimes we have to separate. God has to separate us, because you and I know we got people in our family like that. That they still stuck in the past. They're still stuck in the past. They ain't changed, and that's why you slowly separate, because either your job, either your career, even things that you've experienced, whether you went the way to college, whether you went the way to the service, whether you went the way to, maybe a job took you on a journey, but you expand your mind and your options different places. So people don't like that. It's not that they didn't want to, is that they scared and intimidated for change. You have some of our people don't want to change. So what we do is we try to so-called connect with the so-called what we think is culture, which is just all black people, and just put in the box. And you're not defined just by your skin or what part of the United States you're from, just because your skin. You're defined by who you are as God designed you as an individual person. And you shouldn't tell another person, well, that's something that most black people don't do, or that's something that I say, you're not. It's not designed for that. You're designed to be your own transcender, to be your own inventor, to be. Just because everybody go this way, don't mean that you have to follow the crowd. Be your own transcender and own inventor of who you, whatever God gifted you to be. This is another thing that we try to put on us and handicap other people, and you have to, when you have to get away from your family, you have to get away from what you know. You have to be like it's described like Abraham when he had to leave his family, his people, and go on a journey. And maybe when when the Most High opened up the doors, where you go to school if you're a young person, or take the opportunity. Don't be, and if the people can't accept you for going on a journey and being jealous and timid of you, because really you want to go back and help people. But in order to go back and help people, you have to go to a different level, and your heart is because you know that you want to bring them out of the bondage. And it's sad that you got some people that don't want, that's all they ever know. They want to still stay in those projects down there, and they want to be in a project mentality, like it's like a box. You take a mouse, and if you raise him in the box, and finally after so many years he can come back. He don't know. He can't connect. All he knows is being in the box. You put him in a different environment, you probably don't know what to do. And I'm not to try to compete people to animals, but I'm just using that as a way. Sometimes you can take the person out the hood, take the person out the environment, but they still scared. They think that something is requiring them to change. So don't be timid. Don't feel bad that some people don't want to change. Sometimes God has to make a disconnect. And if they want to take it like you're bettering yourself, or they think that you being better or uppity or whatever, hey, it is what it is. Because like it's better than that to stay in the past. And sometimes being in the past is staying in poverty. Sometimes the past can keep you in poverty, because it keeps you. That's why some people are able to move forward in life, and even though they start out in poverty, because sometimes some things and ways and actions keep us from moving towards the present. So that was the case with my mother's stepdad, my mother's husband. He didn't want to let the past go, but he died. And it's not till he got to the latter years of his life, he lost his legs. He just by being a street dude on the street. He had diabetes. He had stroke. Had a heart attack. Started losing his vision. All these things, and then he had to be bedridden just by being a street dude. So it come at a cost. Trying to be a street dude, what do you reduce down to? Because he wasn't really taking care of himself. He wasn't exercising, and then he wasn't when he had diabetes. He wasn't really on it. So he paid the price. Unfortunately, and he suffered to death. And that's the truth. So that's what go end up with the street dudes. Either in a cracked out, mind gone from running those streets, the curse of having these different women, fathering these different children, never being mature enough in their life to get your mind right so you can go back and be what God designed you to be. Because they love you, they want to know you, but a part of them, their life, they don't know you because you were never there. And then maybe their mamas would ask, where's daddy at? So it does take an effect Now, are there some women out there are vindictive and hold their children hostage? And because yeah, but that was not the case with the kid's mother. That was not that was not the case. But I say this. That's why I've been around. You wouldn't think so by looking at me, but I have witnessed this in my own life. And even though my personal father, he had, he was a good man. He might drink some alcohol and hang out with his friends, but when he came to being a father, when it comes to me, he was always concerned about me as a son. He had my sister, and no, he did what he can do, but he wasn't trying to be a dude in the street. Even though he ran with fellas and he had his time, he died when he was in his mid-40s. But he didn't die being a hood dude. My father wasn't a hood dude. My father was a veteran. My father was a man that at some point in his life he let himself go, but he picked himself back up, and his right was toward the end. But he was always a father, as a man, as a character, as a black man, as a father. A good black man, even though that when him and my mother, they split up, young love. My mother was 19, he was 23, and he married again to a second wife, my sister. That's her mom, who now lives on the outskirts of Cleveland. But he was always a good man. He was no street dude, and I never could figure out why my mother would pick somebody that's in prison but haven't learned their lesson in life by them being locked up behind bars. I'm not saying you don't date someone from prison or marry them, whatever, but they need to be uninstitutionalized, get some counseling, and maybe get some God in their life before you marry a man that's from inside of a prison. Because that's whatever got them into the prison, that don't change it. So with some people, they learn new things. So this is how I know things, and I've always kept it to myself. And even when they got married, I didn't even go to the wedding. They had a courthouse. I didn't even go because I didn't. At the time, deep down, I didn't accept it. I didn't accept him really as my father because I knew this is not a father. But I respect him on behalf of my mother, and then the fact that, but it's just that I didn't respect what he did, and that the mindset that he had, and that he would kind of, to me, it was like he was putting my mother in danger, bringing all these street people around him, and then having people bringing whatever drug to the house, a dope boy running in and out of the house, making personal courier deliveries. Yeah, while he was in Cincinnati. So, and this is my first time even saying this. I just never felt comfortable, and I couldn't. And even though I have my uncle, who's down in Texas, and he's going through some trauma and past drug abuse, it's really rough on the family. It's really rough on loved ones because you love them and you pray that one day, and all you can do is hold them up in prayer that they will make the right decision, because he know the Lord. But sometimes, like anybody that get weak, they let trauma come back in their life, and they go back what they used to doing. They go back to smoking crack, whatever, or drinking alcohol, whatever. And some people are just, they need help. They need, and not only that, they need the Lord, and they need a support system. Be around people that give them that support. So that's why I said it ain't always good to be around a certain segment of people that if they still trying to live that life. And if they think that you're better than them, oh well. Is this your life? Because you don't. They ain't trying to prove. They're not trying to prove who they are as an individual. They're not trying, and it's an individual thing. But it's sad that you got some people, regardless of every walks of life, that and it's not just a black thing, or brown thing, or white thing. It's a mindset that it's like, this is what I know, this is what I'm used to, and I don't want to let it go. I don't want to let it go. And there's people that like to have dysfunction. Even though you want to live a life of peace as you get older, because life ain't guaranteed tomorrow. Nope. It's not guaranteed. We can all be healthy, and you see as quick as something happens, wow, an event can happen, can change the whole course of time in history, in present day, that can change the outcome from your future. And so I say this, it's just that some of us haven't learned to evolve. Some of us have, and some of us haven't. And it's a mindset. And so some of us want to get out of poverty, and there's some people that are comfortable in poverty. And I say this too. If God would bless you, and I'm just going to speak to black people. Hear what I'm saying. This can apply to anybody, but particularly black people. This discussion about reparations, and I said this in a video in the past. Some of us is going to have to, if God blessed some of us with reparation, and it came in the monetary, you and I know some of us going to have to leave the country. Not only because the system is corrupt before it gets uncorrupted until they come. It'd be just like Egypt. Once Egypt realized that, oh shit, we gave these oppressive people that we didn't oppress for 400 years money, we got to find a way to get the money back. But for the smart black people, who maybe whatever your situation is, that you would do the wise thing with that income. You would invest it. You would put this to my smart black people. You're gonna enjoy a few luxury things, but you're not gonna do some of your relatives would do. It ain't gonna go back into the people that's cause you to put you in bondage. So if you ever get reparations, some of the smart ones, you're gonna have to leave and take your money, invest it in another part of the world. And if you choose to have some land here, have it. But because it's not only the so-called white man, whatever, in his system. It's you got to deal with your own people. Because some people, if you give them more money, they're going to spend it up. Whatever habit that they have, they're going to flaunt it. Because you know how some of our people are. We got to flaunt the gold. We put gold on our teeth, gold around our neck, gold on the doggone car just to show that we rich. And that's foolishness. And then because any people with poverty, and they see that you got money, they're gonna rob you. They're gonna try to take your life. So if you ever get reparations, black people, and some of you understand, you can't stay here. You can't stay here. Some of you are going to have to go, and maybe go to the continent and go into some part of the continent reserve. Maybe go to the islands. But if you ever get that kind of money, and be like some of the passport bros, and be like some of them, I answer that later. You're gonna have to go because you got too many hood-minded people. We got hood-minded relatives. You can't go back around them. You got to keep them at a distance because they might set you up. They might, and it can literally cost you your life. And you be the innocent person that got nothing to do with what got going on. what they got going on, and that's their mindset. And you know it happened in our own neighborhood. You know that this happened in our own block. You know, people kill you over $100. You know, try to jump you over $100. Inspires you borrow. And then it's like, this would be the funny part. Let's say you get your reparation check. They get their reparation check. They done spent that shit and they'll spend that mess. And they'll come back and ask you for some money. You just got your money. Is you broke? And you know what they bad habit. They have a very bad habit. It could be substance abuse. They gotta be flashy. Yeah, because you get if they get 10 grand in their pocket. You know how some people get. They get flashy. They won't show everybody off them what they got. They don't use wisdom. So, hey, I'm telling you, if let's say if the government give you $1 million or close to whatever your family was due, and it was over a certain amount, my suggestion to you, invest that money. So when they come, put some money on, fill that money out in property, gold, whatever, make it strength, and get a good financial advisor. So when they're like, I don't know, man, I just got a few $100 in my bank, and you gotta look broke. Because you're gonna have, it's like you hit the lottery or something like that. You can't go back around those people. You can't go. I had to $10-20 million, and my face is flash. I just put myself in danger because somebody gonna try to rob you. And when they see you, it's ain't that dude that won $20 million? And you got people who will try to take advantage of you. You have so-called women that will give you time of day. They'll try to get their attention. If you're a single man, probably single woman, it'd be the same way. You get the kind of man that won't give you time of day, but it's the truth. So if you ever come into some big money, invest that stuff. Invest your money, and do like some people do. You almost gotta look average. Get an average car. Get an average. Look at it. This is the way. And God, I'm giving you some godly wisdom, because if you want to live in these last days and survive, because people are gonna get desperate. So like some people that they said the so there's somebody that won $1.5 billion. Whoever won that money, I would salute. If you hit that lottery, they were smart. Don't put your name in the paper. Don't tell nothing. And if you ever get reparation money or any kind of annuity, whatever, and this can apply to anybody, but particularly to my people, don't tell no relatives you got money. I know you want to be happy, but wait till you get overseas. It's a secluded place. Say, and then you can make your money and interpret over there, because no one's going to know, and keep it on the low when you go overseas. Do like some business or people who have a substantial amount of wealth. There's people that probably live in places in the world, they know how to keep that on the low. You can live in the Philippines, Thailand, you can live in Africa, whatever. Just keep it on the low. People don't know what you have. You ever get reparations in some ways, it's the truth. Because you're going to have some relatives coming over and borrowing money. They're going to spend their money on whatever substance have cannabis. I don't care if it... And they got put on stupid stuff, trying to show gold, put it all in their mouth, put it all around their neck, trying to show that we're flossing. Because some people don't know how to handle money. Some of us don't taught to have money. I wonder how this person got robbed. Hell, they was flashing it over. And then some people, when I hear from people that travel overseas, you got some stupid people that wear gold when they go into a place like the most roughest part of Colombia somewhere, like Medellin. It's like, why would you wear gold? And they telling you don't wear gold. Black people, white people that have been down there telling you don't wear gold down there. Don't wear nothing expensive, because especially going to certain cities in another country like you do here in the States, people see that that's like, oh, money, 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 money. You have to do things in wisdom. But luckily, my stepdad didn't, luckily he didn't get robbed, because he liked to wear gold and try to flash. And it's not wrong with being stylish, but some people, you gotta show that you're rich, and it's like you stand out. You don't ever want to stand out if you get that kind of money. You gotta kind of like get your average car. People who got money, particularly other people, you would never know that they got money. They don't go around flashing it, because they know what type of world we live in. Wealthy people are not dumb people. Wealthy people are not dumb people. They know that there's people out there that's desperate, so they have to be secluded in what kind of money that they have. They do. They have to be secluded. You can't go around flashing, and I hit for 5-10 million, and I go back and tell my cousins and all that, man. And they call me Arthur up in Youngstown. They call me Jimmy in Cleveland. Jimmy won all that money, and you had people that would never even acknowledge you. All of a sudden, they acknowledge you. They want to be in your corner. They would. But when you kind of downtrodden, out of sight, out of mind, they don't know. And that's the best way to be it, and that's for your safety, because you can't trust nobody. I don't care how long you've known them from your past. I know you shared memories when y'all were children, when your grandmas was alive, your grand aunties was alive, but people have changed. People have changed, and they're getting worse and worse and worse. So, listen to my people, and I can connect to. You can't tell people you got money. This can go to don't tell people who don't have no money you got money. Don't flash nothing. Keep it to yourself, and put it, and get an advisor, and like they on other social media, find an accountant and put that money into an account. And if you can trust your pastor, and hopefully he don't tell everybody in the church that you get it. But if you choose to, you have to send a middleman. And look, you want to go back and help out your people, get you a middleman. Like if you let's say if you're in the black community, you want to go out and help the younger future young children. Get like someone who's the middleman, who's like, and they know how to keep things to themselves, but they know how to put that money where will benefit the people in that neighborhood, whether they're elderly people, whether they're children that you want to help out in that community. Like hopefully a community leader if you don't trust a pastor, get a community leader. If you're a black person who got that kind of money, that's what I would do. When you can't give it to, don't go down and flash it. You have to be like a mysterious donor. You know what I'm saying? Like how some people they a mysterious donor, like some people who have the money. That's what they do. They don't put their name. They don't need to be publicized or anything. They sit. God got them safe in a safe place where they sitting on the billions and trillions of dollars. You have to, because people will kill you. People will try to take your life over what you have. And sometimes it's the people that look like you. They will look like you that try to take your life. You hear what I'm saying? They will try to take your life. So you can't flash money. If I had a substantial amount of money, I would not flash it. I look like you. I'm looking now, average. I'll be a multi-billionaire, millionaire. You wouldn't ever even know it. You would never even know it. I ain't stupid. Give me an average. Upgrade my car a little bit, but don't upgrade to something brand new, like something latest, because people see that you'll target yourself in America. Just like they tell you, you got to be careful overseas, you got to be careful here in America on the streets of America. You cannot go around your people flashing that you got money. You can't do it because it would cost you your life. Seriously. Look, you've heard one case where a young man won $1 million. He was a young black man, and there's a gang of dudes went and stormed the house, and he said, "Hey man, take the money." They took his money and they took his life after he hit the lottery for him, and it was so sad because he was a young black man that had some potential to raise. He wanted to raise his daughter, but these hoodlums came in there and took his life. So that's why you can't tell people you got money. You can't tell it. You can't tell, even though you be so happy, excited. Not everybody's happy for you, because there are people that have a resentment and they got street mentality. And when they desperate, they go through desperate measure. If they gotta go come get a gun and rob you, they'll do it. And they'll be your friend. They'll have someone close to you set you up. That's how dangerous we are in them times. That is dangerous. That's why some people get killed. That's why you see some of the rappers get killed. Them artists get killed. Them young men get killed. And it be over something because they want that money and they want that street credit. And it's sad. They don't care. And these people don't care. These people don't care that that they didn't damage another family who was black, who has to live with their loved one leaving the earth unnecessarily, like a Quavo or someone like that. They don't care. You got people that look like Quavo that took Quavo out, that rapper. They don't care. And even though, I know they worked hard to get out the ghetto. And they talented, musically talented, everything. But look what happened. Look what happened. Someone that looked like them take them out. What was, and even if it was some mysterious person, they used someone that looked like them to take them out. This goes back before the beginning of time. So that's why I said, if you get your money, you get some reparation. You can't tell nobody. You have to get up and leave. And whatever you do, and if you want to help somebody, do like some billionaires and millionaires, do it anonymously. Because the Bible said, whatever you do in secret, God will reward in the light. That's the truth. You can't tell everybody. And it hurts my heart to see that someone loses. Like look what happened with Nipsey Hussle. The guy was a rapper. He left the street life. And he turned his mind. And what was really sad, because he was trying, even though his path started out bad, but he was trying to make up for his path that he's trying to turn along the line, that he was trying to do something good for the next generation and provide, and he cared about his people in that part of the block. And some knucklehead came down and took his life because of, jealousy over some old beef that they did in the streets. And it was unfortunate. It wasn't a white man. It was a black man. They used a black man to take him out. We have to be realistic. So, and Nipsey Hussle was a brilliant artist. He was trying to do something good, but it was too late. It was too late. Boom. So if you want to do something for the next generation, and for someone that came back in the same background, remain anonymous. Remain anonymous. If you want to go back and help out some children in the city, young people, give to a food shelter or help out something, go have you a middle person that and they have to remain on the low. And don't tell what you're doing. Don't advertise it. Don't tell it. Just say a mysterious donor gave us this kind of money, and we about to open up some things. Don't do it. If you want to get back to your people, that's the best way of doing it. Do it in mysterious, or do it at a secret location. Like how some people they leave out of town, and you don't know they out in the woods somewhere, and they're multi-millionaire, and you don't know what location on the earth where they at. That's the like the mob is out there. I mean, you got to be like that. You have to have some mysterious background of some city in another country, and that's the best way to do it, because you can't. And the only time you come into town is the various people you can trust, like your mother or somebody that she can't tell anybody. If you got that kind of money. But yet, it's just people in general. You can't trust nobody, even people that look like you. And I know that's hard because it's like you came from the same struggle with these people, you came through the same obstacles or odds as the people, but you persevered and hard. You persevered out of it, and they can't stand that you persevered. Because they think, and it's not that God, they were lazy, they didn't want to apply themselves. Some people don't want to apply themselves, they want to do it on the back of others. That's the truth. Some people want to lay on the back of others. And this is what I learned. That's why I said at the time, I said if I was money and famous, I couldn't go back around when my mom or my stepdad was alive, because he brought all these shady people around. He brought all these shady people around. He did. He brought all these people around, and it's like, dang, and it's like, yes, my son, he's a successful and somebody see your face, they might set you up. I don't even like that Negro. And the next thing you know, they pull a gun on you or rob you, come back and try to rob your place. You can't, and too bad he didn't understand that. People out here, there are people out here, they see something and they discern you're weak. And I have a nice look, I have a nice face. Oh, look, I can get over on him. There's some people like that. I've come across people like that. They don't think I know this. Just because I don't use their vernacular way of talking, I ain't got that certain demeanor. But there's people that look like me. This is the God's honest truth. So you have to stay out there with the other people they're not on no stuff like that, and don't even tell them if you had that kind of money, because they might be wondering. Say that you in some stock or business or something like that, But you have to live. You have to be around your own people, and I know and it's like, I know you love your own people. You can love them. Sometimes you gotta love them like your family. You gotta love them at a distance. Because not everybody got your best interests at heart that look like you. And they be the first one to take you down. And even the white man that can't stand you, he knows that. Because he sees how the way we conduct, how we take each other out on the streets of America. He know how to use emotion. He know how to manipulate. Because some black people, they're easy to emotionally manipulate. And they know that. But they do it in their way. It's been like that since the beginning of time. I'm sorry to tell you, but this is the truth. So if you ever listen to what I'm saying, you get some big funds of money, and God bless your pockets. With that kind of money, you can live for the rest of your life. Some of you gonna have to maybe get a house, apartments, but do like some people do. Have your money invested overseas. If you make some big money, have your investment somewhere. Pay your taxes here. Do what's right by the government, but have you do what. Here's my slogan: do what the white men do. When it comes to that. All right, then, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, there's some tips. So the important this video is stay away from hood-minded people. Stay away from hood-minded people. If they're in your family, they're in your past, stay away from hood-minded people. That's my advice. Because I've seen it, I've witnessed it. I've seen the drama, you see the headache, and you and I know. And it's a shame. And you sit back on the news and see someone that look like your people getting, and it's like, why did he get shot? Why he got the head? And it'd be over something stupid. So stay up. If you want, like I said, you want to help out your people, help them out a distance. Don't go down that hood. Don't. If you do, take some people that got some weapons, just in case something go wrong. And do it in the daytime. If you decide to do that, I don't care if you got money like a LeBron or Shaquille money. Trust me, because people, man, that dude, that's a dude that got that, and they scope you out, and they slide slick dog, they set you up, like it's probably like a gang member or something like that. I'm serious. You. And shot, and they don't care. You got ignorant Negroes that will try to make a reputation like that, and they don't care. You got a bunch of ignorant, ignoramus people among our people. I'm sorry, it's the doggone truth. And they don't have no respect. They have no moral compass. They embarrass their family, and they don't care. They run wild and loose on the street, and ain't too many of us behind no bull crap like that. We ain't behind that. I didn't even like to see it when my mother would be around. My stepdad had those people. I didn't want to be around that mess. You know, because I know that's not black culture. That's not black culture. That's not a part of black culture. That's dysfunctional culture. And it's too bad that some of us can't let that go. As a people, we can't let it go. And we just gotta call it what it is, because when we do it, that's why when they take people that look like our lives, that's why they don't take us seriously. Until someone who's innocent, who don't live that life, like a Tyree Nichols, who didn't live that kind of life, who had was no substance abuse, no gang. You could see that in that man's eyes. He wasn't that way. He was an innocent man. But in the eyes of mainstream, he's a black man. And he's from Memphis. And it's not black people not into that lifestyle, but we don't get no sympathy. That's the truth. And you know there's going to be subconscious racist people who are going to side with the cops. Subconscious racist people. So, to try to justify it, because what environment at the end, what kind of people that's in that environment, so they justify that action. Yeah. And they so-called trying to be conservative. Unfortunately, you have people like that. So this is my advice on this video. Stay away from hood-minded people. If they don't bring I like what my uncle said before. He said, hey, if they ain't trying to help you make money the right way, or help you bring a solution, don't be bothered with them. And take, sometimes, like the elder Neely Fuller say, sometimes the best thing is say to black people, hi and bye, and that's it. We gotta do each other that way. But if somebody come with some gossip, drama, ain't bring nothing productive to your life, cut it off. Cut it off. Because when drama comes, strife comes. Strife comes, everything comes around. Police and everything else. So I hope you share this with this video. But yeah, stay away from hood-minded people and enjoy your life and be blessed. If someone think you're stuck up or whatever, oh well. The key to this life is stay alive and live, enjoy your life, and while you have it on this earth, because no one's life guaranteed tomorrow, unless you don't want to live a life full of strife that cause you physical, mental, emotional health. All right then. So please take this advice. Don't tell no one when you get money. If you ever get some big kind of money, keep it to yourself. So this is James. So you be blessed. Take care. May God bless you on your journey. Take care.